Good morning, good afternoon, Matt Sheahan. Now, you were on an airfield in sunny England last week, and you did rather well in your gliding championship. And it looks like it's got you a prize to New York. What are you doing there?
I wish that had been the case. Yes, we did do all right. Thanks very much, Andy. We finished seventh, which we were really pleased with. Actually, it was great week. But as you say, I'm not there anymore. I am in the Big Apple. I'm in New York. I got here last night, and I've come here to visit this place here. And I have to say, I am stupidly excited. I'm almost embarrassed at how excited I've been about coming here, particularly as I don't actually like cities particularly. But this is something else. New York, I'm already getting a bit of a buzz. And I've come to the New York Yacht Club because we're doing a little series of features about the origins of the America's Cup and the relationship between the Royal Yacht Squadron in Cowes, as you know very well, and this club here that basically kicked it all off. And we've been granted rare permission to do interviews in there and to film. And I nipped in last night to go and have dinner with my host that I'm going to interview. And oh my God, I've heard about the model room here. It is unbelievable. I mean, I'm not hamming this up. It is absolutely incredible. It is vast. And the models are just absolutely stunning. You've got to, whatever you do, Andy, you have got to make some kind of excuse to get here because it is unbelievable.
You are selling it big, Matt. Now, I know that I've got airfix kits of Supermarine Spitfires at home, yet to be constructed. But I didn't think I was that much of a model yacht fan. But maybe the New York Yacht Club would change my mind.
Well, I think it would because it is. I mean, you and I have done a lot of America's Cup commentary and writing and what have you, and been to a lot of the events. And what's staggering about here is the models they've got that go right back to the year dot, and they are the most exquisite models you've ever seen, and pretty much all of them are built to a 1/32nd scale, so they're all the same scale, and they take up this massive room. And I've never seen a comparison of America's Cup history over, certainly it goes up until the end of the 12 meters. I've never seen it in scale before, and it's amazing when you look at the boats. But anyway, it's great. You've got to come here. But you've been busy where you are. I can see. You said you're off to Kiel. That's obviously where you are. What's been going on over there?
Well, I wouldn't say it's that obvious that I'm in Kiel because the sun is shining and it's always raining in Kiel week. But actually, for the last few years, it's actually been quite sunny, and people don't really expect this. It's taken me a while to revise my view, but we've had an absolutely stunning week of great weather here in North Germany. And this is the last major event before the Olympic Games for some of the Olympic classes. And most people have been training in Marseille. But interestingly, France's laser representative, Jean-Baptiste Bernaz, who's definitely one of the favourites to take a medal in Marseille, has decided to come up here and do a bit of racing at Kiel Week because it's just the white heat of Marseille, particularly for a French favourite in France right now. He says it's just so hectic and he needed to get a bit of headspace and just do a proper regatta with a proper international jury that will ping you if you break Rule 42 for pumping or ooching too much, whereas these coaches' regattas that they're doing down in Marseille, all well and good, but if you break the start line, do you go back on a marginal port starboard? Do you bother taking a penalty turn? So it's that discipline of doing a proper regatta that's brought him, as well as other Olympic representatives like Norway's Herman Thomas Gaard and Germany's own Philip Bull. So some big hitters in the laser, in the Ilka 7. Bit weak on sort of top quality talent in some of the other fleets. But they've been missing out because it's been an absolutely fantastic week. And the medal races are going on as we speak. So I'm just grabbing this spot for our 5-minute warning just in between medal race interviews.
And are there any sort of shake-ups at all? Have you seen anything at that event that makes you think, that's interesting, that's changed the form guide ahead of the games?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, I don't think that there's going to be any great revolution here. But, as Jean-Baptiste was telling me earlier, we don't know whether this approach to coming to Kiel Week and missing a bit of time in Marseille is the right decision or not. But we'll know that in just over a month's time when the medals have been handed out at the Olympic Games. But you know, it's an interesting thought to, you know, to come away from the Olympic venue and put your head and your body in a completely different space and a different mindset. But overall, I just love Kiel Week because you and I are nerds about every level of the sport, from grassroots up to Grand Prix. And the great thing about Kiel Week is that you get the whole thing. And the 49er sailors, for example, love sailing or coming out of the same boat park as the 29ers because that's where they grew up. And the 29er sailors love looking at the 49er sailors doing the Olympic campaign because that's where they want to be when they grow up. So, you know, it's a great crossover of grassroots and Grand Prix and full-time professional, and, you know, a real festival of sailing. And yeah, absolutely lovely to be here, especially in this weather.
I would. I've always wanted to do that event actually, and I missed the opportunity because it was a few years ago now. But I'm pretty sure the RS 400 fleet had their Euro Cup in Kiel Week, and we couldn't go that year. But I was very, very envious of that for exactly the reasons you've just mentioned. But I have to put it back on the list of things to do. Sounds great.
It is great. But Matt, I'm also thinking maybe it was the gliding championship, which obviously took precedence. You've arrived in New York just in time to miss the SailGP event of last weekend. So was that by design or by accident?
Well, apparently, according to my wife, you can't do everything. And I'm beginning to realize that sometimes she's right. You can't. So I couldn't do it all. Yes, I couldn't come over here for that. But I did watch all the replays on the way over, and it was a really interesting event. I don't know when the last time we were talking about it last night. Actually, I can't remember the last time that they had a SailGP event here, but I know that the ones that I've watched in the past, I guess other people will know this, is that it's a very fluky venue. And the first few times, or at least the first time they came here with the America's Cup World Series, it didn't really pan out because there's just, surprise, surprise, behind the tower blocks, there's no wind. But they've moved it. They moved the race course further out, and it looked superb. It looked really good. It was still a very shifty event and mainly gusty, actually. Not so much shifty, but mainly gusty at the lower end, which meant that 1 minute they're on their foils, the next minute they're not. And it was, you could say, well, that was a bit of a lottery, but it's funny how in those kind of lotteries, it's the same people that seem to be doing well. And that was the upshot, spoiler alert, that was the upshot of this event out here, was that we saw Giles Scott and the Brits get onto the podium. They sailed really well over the weekend in really difficult, as I say, difficult conditions. But they were frequently, I mean, they had at least one race further down the pan, but a lot of the time, the first race, they nearly won it. They only pipped at the post at the last minute, but they put in a superb performance, which I think will definitely boost his confidence and the team's confidence, and particularly going forward, you know, with the cup looming around the corner. That's great news for him and the team. And the other team that really shone was the Kiwis with Black Foils, with Burling and Tuke. They won here. They put on a superb performance. They are now leading the SailGP season table. And in a few weeks' time, we're going to the grand final in San Francisco. You know, you can't think of a better way of them sort of peaking ahead of the cup. So it was a very, very interesting event. I would say it's well worth, if you have time, well worth even just look at the short highlights packages, because it was very good.
Yeah, I love that marginal stuff. Are they on or are they off the foils? That actually is my favorite form of foil-borne racing, rather than pure foiling around the racetrack all the time. I love that lottery aspect to it. Matt,
unless you're doing it yourself.
Unless you're doing, enjoying other people's pain, yeah. Matt, I know that time is money, and you're probably going to be handed a parking ticket if you stand there on the sidewalk for any longer.
Yeah, I'm learning all kinds of new rules.
You stay well out there, and say hi to the Donald if you see him, and we will catch up next week.
Yeah, indeed. Look forward to it.